Few shows in television history have managed to capture the collective imagination of a nation quite like I Love Lucy. When it premiered in 1951, it wasn't merely another sitcom, it was a revolution in entertainment. Week after week, more than 40 million Americans tuned in, gathering around their television sets to laugh, gasp, and fall in love with the red-headed whirlwind that was Lucille Ball. It wasn't just a show, it was an event. Offices closed early, dinner time shifted, and for 30 glorious minutes, the world stopped to watch Lucy Ricardo's latest misadventure. At its core, I Love Lucy told the story of Lucy Ricardo, a spirited and mischievous New York housewife whose boundless dreams of stardom constantly clashed with her husband Ricky's attempts to keep order. Ricky, played by Ball's real-life husband Desi Arnaz, was a suave Cuban bandleader who adored his wife but often found himself cleaning up the hilarious chaos she left behind. Together with their neighbors and friends, Ethel and Fred Mertz, brought to life by Vivian Vance and William Frawley, they created television magic that blended slapstick, heart, and impeccable timing. The sitcom aired on CBS from the 15th of October, 1951 to the 6th of May, 1957, spanning 6 seasons and 180 unforgettable episodes. It dominated ratings, becoming the most watched program in the country for 4 seasons and making television history as the first series to end, while still at number 1. But behind the laughter lay untold drama, real-life marital tension, behind-the-scenes rivalries, and even one episode deemed too controversial for its time, hidden away for years. I Love Lucy wasn't just television, it was transformation. It redefined comedy, pioneered filming techniques, and left a legacy so powerful that decades later, its laughter still echoes across generations. Even decades after its original run, I Love Lucy continues to prove that true comedy never ages. As of 2011, its timeless episodes have been translated into multiple languages and broadcast around the world, with nearly 40 million Americans still tuning in every year. In 2013, CBS reaffirmed the show's enduring charm by airing a colorized version of its beloved Christmas episode during primetime, an event that attracted over 8 million viewers, an extraordinary feat 62 years after its debut. Technologically, the series was revolutionary. It became the first scripted television show to be filmed on 35mm film in front of a live studio audience, a groundbreaking innovation developed by acclaimed cinematographer Carl Freund. This format gave I Love Lucy a vivid sense of realism and energy that would influence generations of sitcoms to come. Its brilliance was recognized through 5 Emmy Awards and numerous other honors, firmly establishing it as one of the most important creations in television history. In fact, a 2012 survey by ABC News and People magazine crowned it the greatest TV show of all time, while the Writers Guild of America placed it at number 12 on their prestigious list of 101 best written TV series. At the heart of its success lay a story both simple and universal. Set in a cozy New York apartment, the series followed Lucy Ricardo, played with radiant charm by Lucille Ball, and her husband Ricky, a charismatic nightclub bandleader portrayed by Desi Arnaz. Their neighbors and close friends, Fred and Ethel Mertz, added warmth and wit to the mix, becoming an inseparable part of the show's charm. Lucy's endless ambition to break into show business clashed constantly with Ricky's attempts at order, resulting in hilarious chaos that felt both intimate and relatable. When Lucy gave birth to her son, Little Ricky, both on screen and in real life, audiences felt a rare connection between fiction and reality. This blend of heartfelt domesticity and boundless humor ensured that I Love Lucy didn't just entertain, it became family. The Ricardo apartment wasn't just a backdrop, it was the beating heart of I Love Lucy. Within its modest walls, dreams met reality, laughter echoed through mishaps, and chaos often blossomed into charm. Every corner of that living room witnessed Lucy's wild imagination colliding with Ricky's exasperated reason, creating moments that viewers could never forget. Audiences knew that each time Lucy set her mind to a new plan, something hilariously disastrous and somehow endearing was bound to follow. Lucy Ricardo was both naive and daring, a dreamer constantly reaching for the spotlight but forever tripping over it. Her desire for fame was sincere, yet her own limitations formed the essence of the show's humor. She was tone-deaf, rhythm-challenged, and gloriously clumsy, whether botching a musical number or delivering an unforgettable off-key performance of Glowworm. Her comedic genius lay in that contradiction. She wasn't built for stardom, yet she never stopped trying. Still, Lucy occasionally surprised both Ricky and the audience with flashes of real talent. In the audition, she briefly replaced a clown in Ricky's act and shone under the lights, while in Lucy and the Dummy, she delivered a hilariously graceful dance routine with a rubber partner. These fleeting victories reminded viewers that Lucy's failures weren't signs of incompetence, they were proof of resilience. Her determination, fueled by the Mertz's vaudeville past, made her endlessly relatable. Each stumble made her next dream all the more hopeful. Beneath the comedy, the show hinted at fragments of Lucy's mysterious past. Born in Jamestown, New York, she once worked at an agency before meeting Ricky on a cruise. Her scatterbrained mother, Mrs. McGillicuddy, occasionally visited, misnaming Ricky and adding to the chaos. These rare glimpses deepened Lucy's character, a woman whose life, though filled with laughter, was also a quiet search for identity and belonging. Lucy Ricardo was more than a character. She was a mirror reflecting the ambitions and constraints of mid-century American women. Beneath her comedic energy lay a woman shaped by insecurities and societal pressures. She was famously secretive about her real age and natural hair color, preserving an image of youthful glamour that television demanded. Her love of shopping bordered on obsession: new hats, gloves, and dresses for every imaginable occasion, often purchased more for fantasy than necessity. Lucy's tendency to exaggerate her and Ricky's financial success to friends revealed both her pride and her longing to be seen as somebody. Yet, despite these indulgences, Lucy's devotion to her home life was genuine. She adored her husband and doted on her son, embracing the 1950s ideal of the domestic woman. The post-war era had placed women firmly within the home, and I Love Lucy reflected that world while also quietly challenging it. Each time Lucy sought work outside her apartment, her comical failures reinforced the idea that a woman's place was domestic, but her persistence turned that stereotype into art. The tension between the home she loved and the stage she craved gave the show its emotional electricity. She couldn't rewrite the rules, but she could bend them, and she did, week after week, with fearless hilarity. Ricky Ricardo, the Cuban-American bandleader with charisma to spare, balanced Lucy's chaos with discipline and passion. His nightclub career brought sophistication and energy to the series, and his musical performances injected an authenticity few sitcoms could match. His temper, when tested by Lucy's antics, was legendary, punctuated by rapid bursts of Spanish that audiences adored. This fiery expression of frustration became part of his identity and one of the show's most beloved trademarks. Ironically, the line most associated with Ricky, "Lucy, you got some splaining to do," was never actually spoken on the show. Yet the phrase endured because it captured his tone so perfectly, echoing the eternal rhythm of their marriage, her mischief, his exasperation, and their inevitable reconciliation. Though his backstory remained intentionally vague, glimpses of his Cuban roots appeared through mentions of family, Havana, and his musical education. A flashback episode, Lucy Takes a Cruise to Havana, 1957, dramatized their first meeting, though later episodes humorously contradicted that tale. A reminder that, like their marriage, even their origin was wrapped in comedy. Completing the quartet were Ethel and Fred Mertz, the Ricardos' friends, landlords, and comedic foils. Former vaudevillians turned property owners. They were both cynical and endearing, a grounded counterpoint to Lucy's chaos and Ricky's discipline. Ethel, played by Vivian Vance, often served as Lucy's loyal accomplice, balancing exasperation with affection. Fred, portrayed by William Frawley, embodied gruff pragmatism, perpetually irritated yet oddly protective of the Ricardos. Together, the Mertzes expanded the show's universe beyond the Ricardo apartment, anchoring it in community and friendship. Their constant bickering, fond nostalgia for the stage, and reluctant participation in Lucy's harebrained plots made them integral to the show's rhythm. In many ways, they were the audience baffled, amused, and always ready for whatever Lucy dreamed up next. Ethel and Fred Mertz beautifully rounded out the Ricardos' world. Ethel, a former singer and actress from Albuquerque, was often included in Ricky's performances due to her considerable singing and dancing talents. Fred, a World War I veteran who had endured the Great Depression, was notoriously stingy and prone to grumbling, yet he harbored a surprisingly soft spot for little Ricky, acting as both his godfather and honorary uncle. He too possessed singing and dancing abilities, frequently performing duets with Ethel. The four characters initially resided at the fictional address of 623 East 68th Street, apartment 4A, later moving to 3B, and at one point remarked as 3D, with the Mertzes in 3B. all on the Upper East Side of New York City. In reality, that address range in New York City's 68th Street concludes in the 500 seconds before the street reaches the East River. This geographical discrepancy highlights that the set was not intended to be precisely mapped, but rather to serve as a comforting and recognizable home. From this home, every laugh blossomed, and every secret patiently awaited its turn in the spotlight. However, behind the cheerful facade, the production of I Love Lucy was marked by audacious choices and moments of intense tension that frequently left the show precariously balanced. And it is here that the deeper, more complex story truly begins. Love, casting, and a fight with the network. Desi played her on-screen husband. The studio vehemently pushed back, believing his accent was too pronounced and fearing that 1,950 seconds audiences would not readily accept a foreign-born lead in a primetime series. Lucille and Desi were undeterred. In 1950, they conceived a club act and embarked on a national tour. Their undeniable chemistry and talent captivated audiences, ultimately winning over CBS. The network relented and agreed to greenlight a series starring the real-life couple. Casting the pivotal roles of the neighbors introduced a fresh wave of stress. Lucille initially envisioned Bea Benaderet and Gail Gordon for Ethel and Fred Mertz, respectively, but scheduling conflicts prevented their involvement. James Gleason was another favored choice for Fred, but his salary demands proved prohibitive. William Frawley, upon hearing about the role, took the initiative to call Lucille and Desi himself. At 64 years old, he was not CBS's preferred candidate, as they harbored concerns about his rumored unreliability due to alcoholism. However, Lucille, Desi, and producer Jess Oppenheimer fiercely advocated for him. Desi Arnaz later remarked, "He never missed a day's work, nor was he even a few minutes late during all the years he was with us." This anecdote speaks volumes. On paper, he appeared to be a significant risk. On set, he proved to be a rock-solid professional. With the cast finally assembled, the show was poised for its debut, and America awaited. Yet, the toughest trials were far from over. The true challenges would emanate from within the studio itself, and even from within the Arnaz's own marriage. Fights, gags, and a scary moment while the cast navigated these real-life tensions. Lucille Ball frequently pushed herself to the limit in physically demanding and often risky scenes. One iconic example is the Lucy's Italian Movie episode, where Lucy famously climbs into a vat and stomps grapes with local women. The scene appears playful and lighthearted, but according to producer Jess Oppenheimer, a significant portion of it was unscripted. During filming, Lucy reportedly began to genuinely struggle with one of the women, opera singer Teresa Tilly Demo. Lucy claimed Demo nearly drowned her, with grapes going up her nose while the cameras continued to roll. What read as a moment of slapstick comedy was, in reality, quite dangerous. The show frequently transformed real pressure into genuine laughs, a potent blend that gave the comedy its distinctive spark. Lucy's hardest scene, Lucille Ball, was undeniably brave and brilliant, but she was not a freestyle performer. She thrived on precision and harbored a genuine fear of forgetting her lines. This very fear manifested in one of the show's most celebrated episodes. Lucy does a commercial. In this classic installment, Lucy becomes an advertising model for a fictitious tonic called Vita Miata Vegamin. The fake medicine, unbeknownst to her, contained a hefty 23% alcohol content. As the scene progressed, Lucy, increasingly inebriated, had to slur her words and utter nonsensical lines on cue. While the on-screen result appeared loose and wildly improvisational, behind the scenes, it was a meticulous and arduous task that Ball herself did not enjoy. She had to painstakingly memorize garbled words and unnatural sounds. Oppenheimer astutely noted that she was a comedian of precision, not an improviser. The outcome, however, was pure television magic, with people still quoting her iconic lines. Yet, Ball herself found the experience intensely stressful, making it one of her least favorite episodes to film. The stress, however, wasn't solely confined to dialogue. Life itself frequently compelled the show to adopt creative solutions. In 1953, following Ball's real-life childbirth, the studio faced a significant dilemma. The sponsor, Philip Morris, insisted on weekly episodes, but production had to be slowed to accommodate Ball's recovery. The innovative solution to this problem ultimately revolutionized television forever. They began replaying earlier episodes. These reruns proved successful in large part because the show was filmed on high-quality 35mm film rather than the standard 16mm. The resulting image remained crisp and clear, even on repeat broadcasts. To facilitate this higher quality filming, the Arnazes famously took a pay cut, a decision that paid immense dividends later, when they eventually sold the finished episodes. Effectively pioneering the concept of syndication and reruns, they generated an astonishing $5 million. This groundbreaking rerun solution also afforded the couple precious time with their newborn baby. Thus, a private family moment at home inadvertently led to the creation of a new, enduring habit on television screens worldwide. Consequently, the production team forged a new path. They adopted and refined a 3-camera method, a technique first explored by producer Jerry Fairbanks and subsequently improved upon by Al Simon. The Arnazes taped the show live in Los Angeles, then meticulously shipped the higher quality 35mm film to New York. While some popular accounts credit Desi with inventing the 3-camera system, the true history is more nuanced. Nevertheless, I Love Lucy became one of the most celebrated success stories employing this innovative technique. This crucial decision allowed the Arnaz family to remain in Los Angeles and, crucially, contributed to the show's unparalleled quality. Technology elegantly solved a geographical problem and, in doing so, significantly raised the bar for all subsequent sitcoms. Off-screen, however, other problems proved far more intractable. Viewers often mistakenly believed that Fred and Ethel were a real-life couple, a misconception fueled by Lucy and Ricky's genuine marriage. Vivian Vance was particularly irked by this. The significant age gap between her and William Frawley made public comments especially painful. People frequently greeted them as Fred and Ethel and treated them as if they were husband and wife in public. Vance reportedly referred to Frawley as an old man, to which he retorted with lines he wished Fred could say on air, including that Ethel had a figure like a sack full of doorknobs. The insults were biting, and the distance between them grew. While their feud undeniably sharpened their on-screen comedic bite, it also starkly illustrated how the glare of fame could distort a working partnership. Then came a story that directly impacted the very marriage at the heart of the show. In his controversial book, Scotty Bowers alleged that Desi Arnaz possessed a healthy heterosexual appetite. He claimed that Desi frequently called upon him for female companionship and was always a generous tipper. According to Bowers' account, Lucille Ball was aware of his activities and confronted him at a party, reportedly slapping him and shouting, You stop pimping for my husband! You hear?" Bowers claimed he bore no ill will and added, "Nobody ever messed around with Lucille. Her temper equaled her charm." This raw moment vividly revealed Lucy's fiery spirit and her need for control. It also exposed how the public image of the Ricardos' loving, funny, and stable masked considerable real-life strain. The set remained bright, the laughs continued to flow, but the personal cost of fame lingered just beyond the camera's lens, casting a shadow over every choice, every rule, and every significant step the show subsequently took. The episode that almost vanished, Is Enceinte, which aired in 1952, was a pivotal episode that revolutionized television, yet it very nearly never made it to the screen. It marked the first significant television episode to openly feature a pregnant woman, and even its title subtly employed a softer French word for pregnant, enceinte, to mitigate potential controversy. Initially, advertisers vehemently pushed back, expressing concerns that viewers would be offended by a pregnancy on television, as it explicitly brought to mind the biological realities of conception. Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz genuinely feared that the show would be paused or even canceled outright. The final scene of the Is Enceinte episode remains a simple yet profoundly powerful moment. Ricky, performing at the Tropicana, receives an anonymous note from a woman in the audience. It states that she and her husband are about to experience a blessed event and requests that he sing "We're Having a Baby, My Baby and Me." Ricky walks through the audience, trying to locate the note's author. He ultimately reaches Lucy's table, and in that instant, the truth dawns on him. She is the expectant mother. They embrace, both shedding genuine tears. The raw emotion witnessed by the audience was not solely acting. Lucille and Desi were truly moved, as their real lives and their TV lives converged in that unforgettable moment, a connection the audience viscerally felt. Following Is Enceinte, the series carried the pregnancy narrative through 6 more episodes, culminating in Lucy Goes to the Hospital. Lucille Ball's real-life pregnancy was perfectly synchronized with Lucy Ricardo's fictional one, so much so that her real son, Desi Arnaz Jr., was born the very same day as little Ricky on the show. Ball's C-section was even scheduled to match the air date. Delighted, Desi Arnaz jokingly told producer Jess Oppenheimer, "Lucy followed your script, ain't she something?" Some mistakenly believe I Love Lucy featured the first TV pregnancy, but an earlier show, Mary Kay and Johnny, actually did so in 1948. However, that earlier instance generated far less attention because television was then in its infancy, with only about 35,000 sets in existence. By 1952, over 15 million homes possessed televisions, significantly increasing the stakes and perceived risks for sponsors. The sheer size of the audience made every rule tighter, every production step harder. And the most remarkable aspect was how I Love Lucy transformed these limitations into a national phenomenon that the entire country could feel and connect with. Fears, refusals, a banned word, and a banned trip. The pregnancy battle was not the first time Lucy, or more accurately, Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz, confronted the network and sponsors. When Lucille Ball initially envisioned I Love Lucy, she adamantly insisted that her real-life husband, Desi Arnaz, play her TV husband. CBS and Philip Morris were deeply apprehensive about this casting decision, primarily because it placed an interracial marriage at the very center of a primetime sitcom. Ball stood firm, and the show's monumental success ultimately proved that these fears were entirely unfounded. In the 1960s, resulted in an episode being pulled from the air for a considerable period. In the 1960s, networks temporarily ceased airing the final season episode, The Ricardos Visit Cuba. The reason was not the story itself, but rather the tumultuous geopolitical climate of the era. The United States and Cuba were in a period of highly strained relations, rendering the setting of the episode far too sensitive for broadcast. It was a rare instance where a lighthearted sitcom unexpectedly collided with a dark, significant global issue and was forced to retreat. I Love Lucy had already triumphed over the pregnancy storm and the initial sponsor battles. It had, in essence, taught television how to sensitively tell a private family story on a public screen. Now, it encountered a different kind of limit, a political one. The pattern is strikingly clear. I Love Lucy consistently crossed lines that others carefully avoided, but it did so with an unparalleled blend of care, charm, and precise execution. It never uttered the word pregnant aloud, yet it depicted love and family in a way that resonated deeply with audiences. It never ceased to be hilariously funny, even when constrained by heavy rules. And through every challenge, it maintained one unwavering promise that the Ricardos would navigate every tension together, no matter what risks lay ahead. What is your favorite I Love Lucy moment, and which behind-the-scenes fact has most significantly altered your perception of the show? Furthermore, which part shocked you more, the stringent pregnancy rules or the controversial, initially banned Cuba episode, and why? Share your thoughts and reflections in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more incredible stories from Hollywood's fascinating history.